You're right, buddy. I am now recording. I had forgotten to click record. So there's me talking about those that want to watch the recording. So thank you, mates. So yes, we had our first raffle draw earlier today. And as I'm sure you know, but let me remind you, it's completely randomized, of course, and automatic. We obviously have no say. So the system just chose a wallet at random, and somebody's got 635 USDC that's been sent to them, which
Nice.
is exactly, it's really nice. That's wonderful. I was in the raffle. I didn't win, but it does tell you on your dashboard the winning ticket, and now the next raffle is on as well. And Jed, apart from obviously the prize pool, this means that we're burning LMY tokens, and we had a good start burning LMY tokens this week.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
We'll get
So
on.
yeah, I love this raffle because not only someone is gonna win easy money, but it also each round helps the ecosystem through the form of our token. Because when automatically when a raffle ticket is bought, half of the uh, half of the fee is buying tokens and burning them. So currently we have burned uh, for the first round 1.5 million of tokens.
That's
So
great.
it's a good start, yes. Even I was participating. I didn't win, but it's still it feels good
Yeah.
because tokens are being bought and burnt. I wish there was even more motivation and participation, from everyone. But I think through time, the word spreads out. I believe, there are, a chunk of people who don't even know that we have raffle. Especially, when markets are red, people don't like to be spending lots of time, in this place.
Yes. Very true. Very true. In fact, that brings us nicely on to let's have a Jed and I had a call earlier today. Let's have a little conversation, shall we, about the markets right now. And hello, if you're just joining us, by the way, because we're getting lots more joining us right now. And I think it is quite a good time to have a little bit of a conversation because if you're anything like most of us, it can be very easy, obviously, to see, particularly over this weekend. This weekend, as you may or may not know, has been the 10th biggest crypto liquidation over a 24-hour period ever. The largest was actually not that long ago, only in October. Oh, sorry, I'm just quickly letting some more attendees in here. And so, we're seeing some of these big liquidations in quite a short amount of time. And I completely understand, of course, how, that can be brutal. One thing, I don't know if this will help at all. One thing that I always keep in mind, of course, we're human. Nobody likes to think that we're losing money, but let's just talk about that. We're not losing money because you're only going to realize that loss, let's call it that, if you sell. So you have to ask yourself, and I always remind myself of this, was I thinking of selling anyway? And the answer is no. I'm in this game for, at least 2, 3, 4 more years of essentially holding the assets that I have, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, locked money. And so I know that long term, particularly as if you look at what is going on a macro level, institutions are coming on board. Even last week in Congress, the first stage of the Clarity Act was passed. We are getting regulation, we are getting guardrails put in place. So we are heading in the right direction. And so I think it's very important to remember that if you weren't going to sell anyway, which probably most of us weren't, all we then really have to do is just manage our emotions at seeing the value of our portfolio or our wallet be down. And of course, nobody likes to see that. But again, if you weren't going to sell anyway, really that's just an egoic reaction to the price. And I think it's quite good to kind of remind yourself of that. I'll come to Jed in a second. One other thing I would quickly share with you as well, and this really helped me when I started in 2017, and I still wrestle with this to this day, is constantly not refreshing, CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. or constantly not going to crypto Twitter or crypto X now. There's so many emotional people on Twitter. Their language is awful for a start. You know, they say, "What the F is happening?" And, I'm out of this, screw this, all that sort of language. And it's so dramatic and so emotional.
Is that what you
And
listen to?
the Stoics
You
once
don't,
said,
what is it?
don't let your
I'm not listening to
emotions.
this and
Just
all
gonna put your
that.
mute
That's
on.
the swear.
The Stoics once taught about one of the most important things we can do is control our emotions. So I would also encourage you, if you do find yourself feeling a little bit flat, if you're lying in bed and you're thinking about this, which is normal, it's money. I understand that, of course. Maybe detach yourself a little bit from the social medias of the world, because what goes down will go up. We've been in this situation so many times. We were in this situation in April last year, less than a year ago. And then what happened by October? All-time highs. Now we haven't gone nearly as low as we were back then, but this is normal. We can get 20% fluctuations in a week, which is what we're seeing right now. This time next week, I suspect Ethereum will be back at 3,000. I suspect Bitcoin will be back at over 80,000. So that's what I want to quickly say. If you can, just take a check on your emotions, and feel free to post in the group as well if you're wanting to share your thoughts. Jed, I had to mute you. I'm afraid I just muted everybody. So if you can unmute yourself, I know we're looking at your screen here.
Yeah,
There
I
we go.
mean,
Yeah, what are your
yeah,
thoughts, Jed, on the markets? We spoke earlier today.
yeah. The way I see it, and always, was seeing the same way. It is that, crypto market is volatile, and you know, if you don't know how it operates, if you don't have a plan, it can be hard for you, especially through emotions.
Definitely.
But it never made me, nervous or whatever else. Because I look at it from the long-term angle. Even like this chart, it's
So this is
still during the
Ethereum we're
week.
looking at. This is the Ethereum price chart.
Yeah, it started, pretty much 5 years ago. This window, and to me, it looks like it was forming long-term triangle for a while, and I do believe that. Yeah, I still believe that we will have bullish summer, like I've been telling for a while.
Hmm.
But and it would make total sense that it will break this triangle again, and this time it will go into price discovery, because here yeah, I don't count like a new all-time high for Ethereum. It's it just retested. So my point is that it's good asset. It's a key asset in the crypto markets, and the same behavior like any other stock or Bitcoin has. It goes up and down. There are market making in action, and you just know that it
Uh,
will go up eventually.
just transfer it to him.
So in my view, currently it's very good time to buy Ethereum.
Jed, I'm
This
just going to
is
have to quickly mute you, my friend.
Yeah,
Apologies. And Jed, if you could unmute yourself again. Thank you.
yeah. In my view, it's a good time to buy Ethereum, and this is one more, thing. What makes me happy about the raffle, because even if the participation is still low, it's for us it is better than when the markets are going down instead of going up, because we can have some a little more Ethereum inside our liquidity pool. So that's how I view it. My theory is still the same, that the markets have changed, instead of I do believe that instead of having like one this, 4-year cycle, I think we'll have multiple shorter term cycles. And if you look at altcoins market alone, you would see that, it's over, for a year, the market is going down. And the whole altcoins market is down for 90%. So, it's kind of the opposite of the bear market where we are going to now. So I do believe that we will have bullish summer. That's my prediction.
I think my overriding takeaway is we are still so early, and any asset class in its first few years. I mean, we're when do you want to count the start of, the digital assets? 2008, 2010. So, 15 years, and it's still getting established. But as we've just discussed, there's so much regulation that is now being passed by Congress, laws are being passed in Europe, institutions that are allocating 4% of their, whether they're hedge funds or whether they're pension funds, to crypto assets. I saw a list the other day of all the big banks in America, all of whom 10 years ago were anti-digital currencies, anti-crypto, all of whom now have got either ETFs or they've got exposure to this space. So, we are at, if you've read the book, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks a lot about this. In every industry, there's always that tipping point. And we are early adopters. If you look at the early adopter graph, which can also be applied to any industry, we are here. We are the guys at the beginning, get the arrows in our back. And then eventually this will become, this will pop, and we will be able to say, yeah, we were there when Ethereum was 2,500. Now it's, 10,000 per coin. Um, I'd love to know if anyone here has any comments, and if anybody would like to share how they are with the markets. Because again, I'm also very conscious. There's nothing more annoying, is there, than somebody saying, everything's going to be fine. And I genuinely do believe that, but I'm also very conscious we're all human, we're all emotional, and we all have an emotional connection to money. And so it's important to realize that as well. But I would just underline again, I'm seeing some nice comments here. Remember, you probably, I suspect, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you probably were not going to sell anyway. So really nothing has changed. If you're going to hold anyway for a few years, like we all are, it's just an egoic reaction that our wallet's value is currently a bit lower. But so what? We were going to hold anyway. So any thoughts? Soren, I'm just going to pick on you for no particular reason. Only to say I like your locked money hoodie that you're wearing, by the way. What are your thoughts, Soren? How do you kind of emotionally respond to markets? Does it affect you? Does it not? Where's your head?
Yes, of course, it affect everybody, not only me. It affect everybody. So all we are hoping for the best, but life is not always the best. You have ups and downs in every aspect of the life. So I'm cool. If I will need to sell something, I will sell something, like everybody else. But I will never sell everything, for sure.
Yes. When did you get into this space, Zoran, out of interest?
I think 2018.
And do you remember how you first even heard about it? Do you remember hearing about Ethereum for the first time, for example?
Yeah, I heard from one co-worker
Right.
about crypto, and then I
Okay.
was going into it. Of course, I was on the first time it was the most brutal for me because it was first time you go into down market
Yes. Yes.
and you are buying. Of course, you are
Well,
full.
I had the opposite. I started in 2017 and just pure dumb luck. I remember having lunch in Los Angeles with a friend of mine. He actually said to me, "You've heard of this thing called Ethereum," which I hadn't. I just liked the word. Did some studying and bought it. And then 2017, as you might remember, was really good. So you kind of get that false, sense of security. And then, of course, 2018, 2019 was a bear year. So, but well, I'm glad you're here, and I love hearing how people started. Janice, I'm just going to ask you, just out of interest in Canada, there, when did you first hear about digital assets and crypto, and when did you first get involved?
I'm going to say about 2015.
Wow.
So I was working with a public company, CFO of a public company. And so I had the accountants or the auditors in doing some work. And the young chap who was fairly new at it was asking me if I had heard of this thing called Bitcoin.
Wow.
And so he was, querying me. He said he's got these buddies who are in Brazil and they're talking about Bitcoin. And he says, I'm trying to get my head around it. So he's explaining it to me. And I said, I don't get it. No, I don't get it either. And I said, yeah, no, I can't buy into something that's,
Yeah.
I don't understand this. It's the next time he came around the next year, he said, that Bitcoin that I was talking about. And I said, yeah. And he says, yeah, it's over $100 now. And I said, well, I'd buy it under $100. I'm not going to buy it over $100.
Isn't it funny? Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, way back then. So then it wasn't until 2017, I think, that I actually started to get more involved in it and started buying.
And despite the volatility, do you enjoy the space? Do you enjoy learning about this? Does it excite you?
I do. I think the reality is, yeah, unless you're going to be selling or had a need to sell, markets are up and down all the time. So if you look at the overall trend from when I started the interest, it's way up.
Oh,
so
completely.
you can't complain about
Yeah, absolutely.
when I was purchasing back then. Although I think I did get too involved in the terminology shitcoins, which I would have rather have held the altcoins. But
Yes.
you're thinking at the time is, one altcoin or potential of increasing these other coins that could have huge potential, right? And so I was following that trend, but I don't follow that trend anymore.
Well done. No, I'm exactly the same. Stick with blue chips and protocols that have utility, i.e., you can actually say this does this, like locked money. There's things that we do, that there are, well, utility, there's value, there's benefits, there's things that we can
We're
explain to
looking for the
people.
value now. And that's the huge thing.
Janice, I appreciate you sharing. Jed, let me quickly ask you as well. I think many might like to hear, when did you first discover this thing? You're probably Satoshi Nakamoto, aren't you, anyway? So
No. First time I found Bitcoin, it was around $250 or between 200 and 250. But I was using this currency as a currency. I was using many other currencies before. It was always interesting for me, like e-gold, or there was another Liberty Reserve. So, that's how probably I found Bitcoin. But I wish I bought more and stored, but I
of
didn't.
course.
But it was like the beginning of my crypto journey, because since then, crypto was around. I wasn't deeply involved in crypto since that moment, but still it was around. Yes, I saw the news, big events, etc. So that's how it started.
What year would that have been?
I don't know. Probably like 15,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Well, ladies
Uh,
and gents, again, if if you'd like to share your thoughts and you have any, concerns or comments about the market, I suspect what we're going to do is we're going to see quite a decent bounce this week, I would have thought. And look, I'm talking like it's doom. The market cap is at 2.7 trillion. That is still phenomenal. The thing is, we were at about 3.2, a few days ago. So, it's 500 billion has been wiped off. But this has happened many, many times. It's happened a couple of times over the last 12 months. And historically always goes back to an all-time high. So let's just keep that top of mind. Jed, I want to share something now about a new partnership that we are working on. This is kind of ahead of the premium category, which I know I'm getting many questions about that, which is still on the card, still of course coming. But Jed, do you want to jump in and spend a few minutes sharing about this partnership and how this can benefit the Lost Money
Yeah,
project?
and I am, quietly excited about this upcoming partnership. It is becoming a strategic partnership, which, if it all play out as expected, I do believe it will bring significant value for our ecosystem. The way we were able to get into such a deep connection, the reason I say it is a strategic partnership is because we decided to help them with parts of the development because it highly correlates with what we have been developing for our premium category. And yeah, we pretty much gave our know-how, and in return, that project won't be releasing their own token, but for their, campaigns, marketing campaigns, they will use LNY, which
Wow.
will be bought from the market. So that's the idea in general. I will start talking more about it soon. I know that they are almost ready with final phases of testing, and they will need testers. So I will probably write something in the chat, but you guys will be able to test this bot in for your own needs. I am talking now about Telegram trading bot, but this bot is powered by AI. Pretty much you will be able to participate in crypto markets without the need of any other application such as browser or MetaMask, Rabbit, or whatsoever. So you will have wallet linked with your account. Then you can do research about crypto assets inside Telegram through the same bot. It will provide you, trending tokens, or what smart money is buying. So lots of good stuff. A lot of this good stuff we will have in our premium category as well. But yeah, generally speaking, the bots and similar bots are who are attracting good volume. They are making millions in fees. So, if this new bot will be successful, we as a Lock Money community will feel significant impact. So I do believe that it is, a good time we're living in. I would suggest that if you are stressing about anything related to crypto, do not. That's how normally most of people are losing money in crypto because they are following their mind to when making actions. So yeah, soon, early testers. I believe there will be some kind of incentives for early testers, and you will be able to test it out. Soon they are going live, and they will start their marketing campaigns or whatsoever. So I think it will increase exposure for us.
So let me get this
For
straight. This is essentially a Telegram trading bot. It's a company that are really going to go quite big on marketing this. but to take part, you have to use the locked money token to.
No. So locked money token will come in, yeah, I think during the second phase when they establish volumes. They will, at least what I know, they will build a points system for user loyalty inside the platform and for marketing campaigns. And for that point system, they will use LMY token. So
I see.
that's the whole idea. And so, yeah, I do believe that it will be very beneficial because normally similar bots also, some of them most have web applications for the same functionalities. So our partners won't be building web application, and they will use, we will integrate some of their functionality inside our platform. So, lock money will be a good place where to store assets and grow them. Our idea is to build more ways how we can grow, our assets. It's a long way, but team is busy as always, and I'm still motivated. I have a good stack of Y tokens, and I plan to hold them, because I see value. It's very easy to push our price up, very too easy. All we need, because currently I feel, we also have to remind ourselves that this is DeFi and this is about uh, you know peer-to-peer, and community matters, and we really want to have like more active participation inside our community, whether it's Facebook or Telegram or participating in Raffle. This is like a live organism what we are building, and I think with time it only grow, vertically and horizontally. But for now, I really think that we are going the right way. The markets are not so up, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It only matters in a way that you can buy more of Ethereum for cheaper, because I don't believe that any of us have enough of crypto. And when you think long term, it kind of makes sense to have more of crypto.
I noticed, totally changed the subject, somehow accidentally, I think I'm using a free Zoom plan, which will end in 10 minutes. So this has only allowed us 40 minutes for this meeting. So I don't know if you saw that on your screen. I don't quite know how that's
No.
happened. So anyhow, not that that's an issue. So we've got about 10 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. When can we expect this to be started, Jed, this partnership? When do we think this is going to go live?
I don't know, but I know it's soon. We are talking about weeks, months,
Okay.
but pretty much soon. They started working on their X profile already. So, bits by bits, they are preparing their, the development is in the making. I will drop some, more information about them. I don't have much, like they have website, and
Okay.
I was able to play with their bot a little bit. Uh, it's fun, useful. It really is kind of, it makes sense. It's very easy to get involved in crypto through such bots, because you don't have to go through the whole learning curve, of understanding how to participate in Web3, how to, what is MetaMask, how to use it, and all these things. And here you can just, press a button in Telegram or write a command in Telegram,
Well,
and
that's what is needed. I mean, I see Elon the other day was mentioning, that X are going to essentially activate being able to purchase crypto within X very soon. And it's
Yeah.
those sorts of things. I mean, again, as we said earlier, we're early adopters. We have installed a Rabby or a MetaMask and saved our seed phrases. Admittedly, that might be, various levels of challenging depending on how we feel about it. But for mass adoption, that definitely needs to get easier. So things like this, the Telegram bot and things to be able to buy are great.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions or comments or observations or anything that they would like to share, how they're feeling? Feel free to jump on now. Let me ask you, Simon. How are you, Simon? It's always good seeing you here, mate. I know you've been very open and honest.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. What's on your mind? How are you feeling about the markets and everything at the moment?
To be honest, I don't really give a crap about it anymore. I don't look at it, mate. It goes
That's
up, it goes down.
Yes, that's a real good. Seriously, that's a great
You know,
point where you think, do you know what? I'm not going to let that affect my mood. And
yeah. To
yeah,
be honest, the last 2 months I've been working on my own project, getting that
great.
live.
Yes.
But we're moving from we're going to do a token first, and then we're moving into a real world holiday park, and then we're moving real yield back into the protocol once the park's up and running. How do you
That's great.
guys feel about real yield on a lot of money?
What do you mean real yield?
Like not token rewards, like real ETH.
Yeah, it is currently low, but there is like
Yeah,
for
that's for
example,
staking.
we have approved three subscriptions for our pro category in the last couple of weeks, and those who have stakes in LP staking, they also got some USDC. And the idea is to exactly to increase the ways how the Jews can come in the
Yeah.
ecosystem.
Yeah, because I see a lot of protocols and they're not doing token like rewards anymore. They're doing like real ETH, things like that. A lot of them are moving over that I've been noticing. Just
Yeah,
trying to
for
get my
for
step
for
in
for,
it.
for me, most important thing is to build the LP size over a long period
Yeah,
of time, and any way possible can be implemented. It's kind of never-ending process because
Yeah.
in my eyes, lots money isn't the same as it was day one, and it is nowhere close what it will be, after a year, two, or more. It is evolving. We are kind of growing in the growing industry, and that's what I like
like you
because
say, it's never ending, mate. It just
yes,
keeps going and
and you
going, doesn't
can
it?
you kind of can
You can't
e
force it.
e you have more easy ways how you can experiment in the industry, and you can have faster market proof or rejection, and but still I was telling about it, since our early days that we at first it was most important was to build the foundation of in our ecosystem, which is the platform, and on top of that you can then build kind of the add-ons on it.
Yeah.
Some add-ons will work, some won't. For example, I'm using our banking, for regularly. It works like a charm, and it's not. I stopped using other, places. So that's the goal, to build useful things for our ecosystem, which would benefit all of us token holders.
Jed, I'm
Yeah,
going to have to stop you. As I say, rather embarrassingly, for some reason, I don't know why, my
gonna cut
Zoom has
out.
been downgraded. And we've got literally 60 seconds left. It gives you 40. So I need to speak to Zoom and upgrade it again. But anyhow, so we need to wrap up in about 60 seconds time. So
Yeah.
it's been 40 minutes. So I think 40 minutes is good for us all anyway. So lot of money to the, oh, look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. How fabulous. So, oh, Simon, looking good, mate. Looking good. Well, ladies and gents, I will put this recording on the blog. I'll do that a bit later this evening, and we'll let you know about this partnership. And this 40 minutes has flown by, hasn't it? Sorry that we're slightly rushing at the end here. As I say, I think I've got an issue with my Zoom, but I'll worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. Don't forget the raffle is the new raffle has started. Congratulations if you won the $635. Can we just have a hands up to the camera? Thank you, ladies
Participate
and
in
gents, for your
raffle,
time.
please.
Yes.
Let's win some. Let's grow it.
Let's grow the raffle.
Let's grow the raffle.
Let's go.
Stop
Thanks.
buying coffee. Stop
Good to
buying
see you,
coffee.
Mike. See you later, ladies and gents.
Bye.
All the best.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.